Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy the Kryptonian Saiyan here, bringing you another fairy tale discussion. This week I want to talk about why I think that Hiro Mashima dropped the ball with the Spriggan 12 and the fairy tales arc for the Alvarez Empire Arc. And getting right into this, right away the first thing that comes to mind for me is that Hiro Mashima dropped the ball and that he got too ambitious for his own good. Now, if you've been following me from the very beginning of my fairy tale journey, you know that one of my favorite arcs is the Tartarus arc, and it's because when you look at the actual Tartarus demons, they had all the different underlings that worked for them, but at the same time, that actual cast was smaller, and for me, it felt like there was a bigger threat. Now, when you get to the Spriggan 12 and you look at what everything's going on in this arc, you have the Spriggan 12, but you also have Zeref, and now you're explaining Zeref's backstory and his connection with Mavis more in detail. You have Agnologia, you're bringing in Anna Harphilia. You're doing so much in this arc, and because you have such a large ensemble of characters that you have to explain, it takes away from the story. It felt like the Alvarez Empire arc was branching off into another story. It seemed like there was more that Hiro Mashima could have fleshed out, and if the Spriggan 12 would have been reduced down to, say, the Spriggan 6 or the Spriggan 4 or the Spriggan 3, it would have allowed Hiro to tell a more linear and a leaner story, in that he's better able to flesh out the story. He's better able to give some of these fights a better conclusion, like one that everyone was upset about, which was the Urza versus Eileen fight. I personally thought that there were things foreshadowed, but Hiro could have made them easier for the casual reader to catch, as well as to raise the stakes during that fight. And then looking at what his editor said, one of the things that I read was that his editors wanted Hiro Mashima to reduce the number of Spriggan, and I totally agree with it. One of the things that one of my mentors told me was that you're gonna reach a point where you're trying to tell the story and the story is moving in another direction, and you're faced with that moment where you say, I have all these beautiful ideas, they're really, really wonderful, everyone's gonna love them, but it's time to kill my darlings. And what that means is that your ideas that you have planned, sometimes it's the actual ending for the story, sometimes it's all these amazing characters or these origin stories, you can't use them, and so you have to make the hard decision to say, the story would be better if I didn't use this and I maybe tucked it away and used it for another story. And I think that's what happened with the Spriggan 12. I think Hiro Mashima doubled down and said, I already have these fights planned out, I want these specific fights to take place, I want to use these characters, this is my manga, I'm doing it, damn it. And that's cool, but sometimes you have to take a step back as an author and you have to say, these are my editors, they're looking at this from an objective standpoint, I'm too closely attached to this. Fairy Tail, for all intents and purposes, is Hiro Mashima's baby, which means that more than likely he has put all this time into it, and he's saying, I don't want to have to not use the characters I come up with. But in the end, I think that it ended up hurting this story. But those are my thoughts on this, guys. Do you think that the Fairy Tail Alvarez Empire arc would have been better with less villains? Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. But as always, make sure you comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome day, guys.